But to say that there's no election fraud is, of course, insane and robs robs your sense, robs even the most rational people that have tried to argue against this have been left in ashes. The Democrats have flipped their narrative. Okay, so so here are the people, like the biggest corporate media entities in America used to run headlines that said there's no provable election fraud. Now, all of those headlines, all of them, have shifted to there's no mass election fraud. Every single one. NBC just did this. We've caught CBS doing this. ABC did this. The View, ladies, we're talking about like no one's proven mass election fraud, just a little bit of election fraud. A teeny bit, just the tip election fraud. Yeah, here's just the tip. Let me show you. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the tipping point for me, certainly. Where were you on election night 2020? You certainly saw Donald Trump up 10 points in Georgia. A very healthy lead in Michigan and Nevada and Arizona. And of course, you wake up the next morning and find that it's all been disappeared because a pipe burst and because unlimited ballots were yanked out from underneath tables inside of the voting centers. And what you ended up with is a perfect, almost algorithmic 49.2 to 49.5 for Joe Biden. There you go. It's just like you punch it into a computer. It's always 49%, right? Always 49%. And Joe Biden miraculously won Georgia. But it's not just Joe Biden getting 49. Look at this. 49% for Kelly Loeffler. Raphael Warnock, 51%. 49% for David Perdue. John Ossoff, 50%. They're computer equations. They punched the numbers into a computer and they were able to manufacture results. This is exactly what Tulsi. You're insane, Benny. Oh, okay. Do you know more than the director of national intelligence, who, by the way, just did a massive raid, former director of national intelligence, did a massive raid in Fulton County? The weapons they fashion against you shall be their undoing, man. I'm telling you, we're getting Old Testament justice here. The weapons that they form against you will destroy them. The only reason that they still had the records for the 2020 election fraud in Fulton County, the only reason they had the smoking gun sitting there in a warehouse was because they wanted to put Donald Trump in jail over it. They needed to keep all of the evidence and control all of the evidence. So they were trying to put Trump in prison. That's why everything was sitting in boxes in a warehouse. The FBI has now surged over 300 agents to Fulton County after the initial raid. Something big is about to happen on Thursday night. Tulsi Gabbard is talking to us about these results. What does she say exactly?
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast.
That alone should have been the biggest news clip in the world. We have all the evidence that these electronic machines are manipulating the results of the votes being cast. An FBI memo now saying that they have surged 260 agents to Fulton County in response to the 2020 election fraud raid. The memo states that the July 17th deadline, we are expecting major movement. Democrat officials are preparing for criminal charges and arrests in Fulton County. Do you understand? Thursday is going to be doomsday. Thursday is going to be doomsday.
We don't really know what the July 17th deadline is about. It seems arbitrary, but because they put it out there, it feels like they will have to come out with something on the 18th.
Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett, a Democrat, says the county should be prepared for anything, whether it be the FBI's potential findings or the announcement of criminal charges.
Why would you say that? I'm not prepared for criminal charges. I'm just going to tell you right now, because I haven't done any crimes. I've done no crimes. So I therefore I'm not prepared for criminal charges because I haven't committed any crimes. But you don't say these kind of things unless you've committed crimes. So why would they be prepared for mass arrests in Fulton County? Ooh, baby. President Trump. I will be making a speech on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern time. What's going to be in that speech exactly? Well, you're going to have the CIA director, the director of national intelligence acting, FBI director, and DHS secretary. Ooh, baby. It's going to be a speech about declassified intelligence reports that reveal a foreign nation's plans to interfere in the 2020 election. Oh, by doing what exactly? Well, we're not sure. But we do know that Tulsi Gabbard has told us that they have proof that they can change the votes in the machines. And now we hear something else. I'm going to cite Matthew Foldy of the DC Reporter. And this outlet in Washington, and we know Matthew is a great dude, says President Trump is planning to announce that Georgia Senators Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are illegitimate because of fraud. Well-placed source in the Georgia tells us announcement could come as soon as tonight. Wait, what? So this suddenly broke our timeline. That these elections right here that were won by less than 1% by both of them was due to fraud. And listen, you can go back and check the voter rolls. More people were voting in Fulton County than live in Fulton County, than are registered in Fulton County. That is a matter of fact. What is going to be revealed? Well, we're not exactly sure. I suppose we'll have to wait 24 hours, 48 hours. But this is going to be massive. This is all my entire timeline. Ossoff and Warnock illegitimately elected. If they are complicit, they need to lose their seats. They need to be jailed. What would happen exactly if you were to prove that a senator was illegally elected? What happens if a politician is found guilty of election fraud? Well, you could have criminal penalties on a federal level, tons of different fines associated with this in U.S. Code, $250,000 fine and imprisonment for up to 5 years under 52 U.S. Code 20511. This would be involving federal elections, mail-in ballots, or interstate aspects. Major penalties under law. State level, you would also be charged. Common penalties include fines and prison time, probation, and restitution. Impact on office and political career. A conviction typically would lead to immediate resignation, expulsion, or judiciary removal. Many states have laws disqualifying convicted felons from holding office. Disqualification from further office could also happen. Loss of voting rights and other consequences. Real-world examples. Politicians and officials convicted of voter fraud, ballot tampering, or related schemes have received prison time, 1 to 5 years, fines, probation, removal from office. Cases include absentee ballot fraud, false registrations, and bribery of election workers. Okay. So this is as real as a heart attack. Oh, and by the way, Postmaster General announcing that they're not going to be mailing ballots to criminal aliens is just completely genius. I want to ask Ron Johnson about this, and the senator is set and ready to roll. So